Shabbat Shalom. We are an intimate and wonderfully, perfectly sized group tonight for Shabbos. It's actually been a beautiful day. I hope that despite the rain, this beautiful weather has made our souls a little bit happier, and perhaps even that extra soul that we receive on Shabbat, maybe that soul's a little bit happier too because of the weather. So let's take in a deep breath together. Center ourselves. Perhaps we can turn off the devices now that might be distracting us from our purpose. And our purpose is to be together, to be here as one sacred Kehillah Kedosha, one sacred community. Tonight also happens to be a special occasion in the progressive Jewish movement. The National Council for Jewish Women helped us claim this week Parshat Mishpatim for Reproductive Justice Shabbat. So we'll be hearing a special sermon tonight to support that, followed by a lot of information about some magnificent events being put on by our Congregants for Reproductive Justice Committee. And I see many of you here with us tonight, so thank you for joining us. Your eyes are not failing you. There is one of me up here. I'll be joined by Rabbi Sapphire and our rabbinic intern, Ryan Lesner, in just a minute, who are greeting our guests on Zoom. But I want to encourage you at this moment to stand up, say hi to someone, wish them a Shabbat Shalom, and then we'll continue in song. If anyone is under the age of 13 and wants to give tzedakah, I think we have that available up here. One more call for tzedakah. Anyone under the age of 13 who'd like to help fulfill the last mitzvah of creation, the last act of creation before we light our Shabbos candles. Rabbi Sapphire will help.
Let's see, who can I hand down?
There are a couple. We've got Clevengers and Posners and Noviskis in the house. Not quite 13 yet. Let's join together with this melody.
Shalom. I haven't tested my microphone yet, so I have to see. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
So you can hear me, I can hear you. It is wonderful to see all of you. It's nice to just be able to breathe and to let go and to welcome what I pray is a day filled with peace for all of you. We have been in connection with our brothers and sisters in Haifa this week, and they welcomed Shabbat just as we are now, about probably 6 hours ago. And of course, in a time of turmoil, I can only imagine how difficult it is to let go of all of the challenge that one is feeling inside and to look ahead towards hope and peace and unity. And we join them in doing the same as we sit here in Temple Beth Elohim tonight. Think of our brothers and sisters in Israel, of course, our beloved state of Israel. We think of others who are not here as well, who are in need of an additional sense of peace as we fill this space with peace. So I'm happy to say Shabbat Shalom as we bring in that day. So we are going to welcome Shabbat by putting away the to-do lists that are in our minds, anything that might distract us from this moment, and begin to light our Shabbat candles. And I understand that you invited someone
I have
to join
asked
us.
for all the members present of our Congregants for Reproductive Justice to
Beautiful.
please come forward and help me kindle this Sabbath light. And this is proof that our social justice committees can have members of all ages.
Love it.
It's never too early to start repairing the world. Let's join together. Let's join. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shalom, Yasher Koach to all of you. Let's continue. Page 142 with the words of Shalom Aleichem. As we greet Shabbat, we welcome an extra spirit. Some like to imagine the Shabbat angels joining with us as well.
Brought my own Shabbat angel up tonight to help me, Rabbi. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Seitchem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And our rabbis used to teach us that Shabbat was a presence to behold, and that we would have to prepare ourselves in order to be ready to greet Shabbat. So I like to think this liturgical poem of Lecha Dodi is a warm-up for us so that we can come to understand just how magnificent the Shabbat presence is. Page 138.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Hishmi'anu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'litila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Penei Shabbat Nekabela Likrat Shabbat Lechu v'nelcha Ki hi mekor Haberacha merosh mikerem Nesucha Sof ma'aseh B'machshava tchila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nekabela Hitoreri Ki ba'orech Kumi uri Shir daberi Kavod Adonai Alayich nigla Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nekabela Let us rise, face the entrance as we greet Shabbat presence.
Boi v'shalom, atzeret bala, gam besimcha uvetzola, tochem unei am segula,
Boi chala Olecha
Dodi Likrat Kala
Penei Shabbat
Nekavela Olecha Dodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nekavela Penei Shabbat Nekavela.
We remain standing for our call to worship.
Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai,
Yalla lai 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 Yalla lai 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 Yalla lai 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 Yalla lai 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 Yalla lai lai lai
yalla lai lai lai.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Together we respond.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed Le'olam Va'ed Yalla lai 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 Yalla lai lai lai.
Let's be seated. If you don't yet have a prayer book, I'm going to give you a chance to grab one, because as we turn to page 148, 149 from Ariv Aravim, we bless God as the creator of light, who turns light into darkness. We'll be using the words of the English on the page as well.
Or mipnei choshech, or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. Or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. One more time. Or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or.
And the top of page 149, we read together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide.
Your breath
guides the sail of the stars.
Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. Or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim.
Page 150. Blessed are you, God, who loves your people Israel through the gift of Torah.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochbeinu ufkumeinu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah אותנו לימדת אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
The Shema continues with the Ahafta, page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאוץ על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 158, and I always look to you at this moment because it's always, you have to know it's always Cantor's choice, whatever melody is going to be the
It's true.
Micha Mocha, so that's why I look to you.
I appreciate that.
Happy birthday, Susie.
So let's join together with these ancient words, perhaps a little bit of a newer melody, but it feels very ancient to me. And that's why I like to set this liturgy to these sounds. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. כי פרע אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Page 160, 161, as we pray each evening to ask God to build a shelter of peace among us. She's looking for some help.
I see we have some friends who are looking to leave, but I'd like for them to come up. In fact, I'm going to even do this. This is what Lador Vador is like really about this, empowering the next generation, setting them up with the same love of our liturgy and our tradition. All right, we all ready, team? 1, 2. Here we go. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Ve'ha'amidenu, Shomreinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu, Sukkot shlomecha.
Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Hashkivenu, love and understanding among us. Hashkivenu, peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm.
Let there be love.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Join together for the center of our prayer service. We're on page 164 for Adonai Savatai Tiftach, a prayer that asks God to open up our lips so that praises can be declared. So for all of us who are joining online on Zoom, please flood the chat box with words of praise and gratitude, things that you're bringing into Shabbat with you. And if you're joining us in the building, some of you are already doing it. You're ready. Come and join and stand and hold these words of gratitude in your heart as we join together for the center of our prayer service and these sacred words. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, V'yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, V'yagid Tehilatecha. Open up our lips so we may praise your name. Open up our hearts so we can feel our
Sifatai Tiftach Viagi Tehilatecha Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Viagi Tehilatecha
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Vekoneh Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei Bneihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah Ata Gibor le'olam Adonai Mechayeh hakol Ata Rav lehoshia Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem Mechalkel chayim bechesed Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim Somech noflim berofeh cholim Umatir asurim Umekayem emunato Lishenei afar Michamocha ba'al gevurot Umidom elach Melech memit umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh hakol Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh Ukdoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please take this time for your own words of private Amidah, either words in our Siddur or the words that are in your heart. When you're finished, I invite you to be seated.
Adonai tzuri vegoali, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri vegoali. Go inside your heart, just be. Go inside your heart and see what it wants, what it needs, what it yearns when you breathe. Go inside your heart and see. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be kind, be true. May they be acceptable to you. Oh, my rock, my rock, oh, my rock, my rock, and my Redeemer.
At this time, we turn to page 371. Turn our thoughts to those who are in need of healing, either healing of mind, healing of body, or healing of spirit. If you're joining us online, I invite you to place their names into our chat box so we can hold them along with you. And for those of us in the room tonight, if there's someone you're thinking of and holding them close to your hearts and would like their name shared out loud, I invite you to stand, or one of our clergy will come and find you so that we can hold all of these names together, wishing them a refuah shlema.
Daniel Chen and Nancy Monahan.
Margie Yates.
Maggie Yates.
Thank you.
My friend Bob Baxter.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you. Thank you.
All those names in the chat and for all the names said out loud, hold close to our hearts. We'll join together with these words of healing.
Misheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema. a renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Each Shabbat, we celebrate our milestones, our blessings, our God-given moments that we have celebrated each week. So let us start off. I know there are a few birthdays that occurred this week and that are occurring this weekend. Not to call you out, but you're welcome to raise your hand if you would like. You go first. It was a big birthday for Susie this week, and your family was going to be at the ready if you were. Okay, I see hands in the back. Jackie. An accomplishment. Say mazel tov for us. Rabbi Clevenger. And it's February vacation on behalf of all of our teachers in public and some private schools. Robin has been standing because you have a special few to share. Happy birthday. I call Robin's 2-year conversary. 2 years since she became Jewish, and a special birthday this weekend too. Meryl.
Oh, myself.
Your birthday this week? Okay. She turned a beautiful number on Valentine's Day. Happy birthday, Meryl. Yes.
My grandson's acceptance as a Moore Scholar at Boston University.
Wow, so this is the season of acceptances and
Yes.
awards I hear already. Mary. Wow, your mother's 94th. Mazel tov. Ow. Your 33rd anniversary.
Wow.
Mazel tov. What a great, it's February, and look at all of these.
We have more.
We still have more. Lauren's birthday
Oh
was
my
this
goodness.
week as well. Mazel tov.
And Rabbi, I want to wish a happy birthday to my sister-in-law, whose birthday is today, and my niece Leah turned 1
Mazel
this
tov.
week.
Are they
So,
on?
I'm not sure.
And to
but
all
just
of
in
you
case.
who've mentioned a mazel tov in the chat, mazel tov to you as well. Did we miss anyone? Naomi. Naomi. A new grandson. Mazel tov. Literally, thank God for life. And we received the news today that Holly and Steve Simons are announcing the engagement of their son, David, to Lee Jo. So mazel tov to them as well. So for all of these occasions of love, of celebration, of life, of award and accomplishment, let's join together for Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. Before you forget, I forgot one thing before you begin. I'm so sorry, Ryan, but I wanted to thank Elon and Ezra for lifting up our worship through their music. And if you hear another exceptional male voice in the background, it is Elon's. And so I just want to make sure people have asked who the musicians are. And Ezra's a congregant, so say hi.
We get good people here. We do good things here. Well, Shabbat Shalom. With gratitude to Meredith and to Abby for asking me to speak this evening. Lots of gratitude. So I often refer to this week's Parsha, Parshat Mishpatim, as the foundational social justice text. This portion is filled with rules and with guidelines that are focused on caring for others. These are interpersonal laws that range from the treatment of slaves to the necessity for kindness to those who are marginalized in society. And these laws serve as a guide for a caring community, a set of foundational rules for how our world ought to be. Some examples: you shall not wrong a stranger or oppress them, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Sound familiar? You shall not ill-treat any widow or orphan, and if you do mistreat them, I will heed their outcry as soon as they cry out to me. And you shall not oppress a stranger, for you know the soul of a stranger, having yourselves been strangers in the land of Egypt. So these laws and the many more in this week's portion are focused on creating and developing a social justice-oriented society, instilling the basic notions of ethics and morals for various social justice issues, a society of shared liberation, of true freedom. Now, also in this week's Parsha, we read one of my favorite verses. I believe it to be one of the most influential verses in the entire Torah, and it reads as follows: Vayikach sefer habrit, vayikra ba'oznei ha'am, vayomru kol asher diber Adonai, na'aseh v'nishma. Moses took account of the covenant and read it into the ears of the people, and they said, all that God has spoken, we will do and we will hear. Now, it's important to note that it is written na'aseh, doing, before nishma, listening. Many of the commentaries on this verse state that this ordering of words implies that action comes first and then listening afterwards. This famous utterance has become symbolic of the selfless trust and faith that the people have in God. The people agreed to act on the laws of God even before having heard any of them. And so their proclamation here is twofold. First, it's a repetition of their oath to follow the commandments, and now they pledge to listen and hear the stories of their history, which sets the tone for the essential elements of Judaism, which are following God's law and listening to the narrative of the past. However, shockingly, there is more than one way to interpret and understand this verse. Now, I need to tell you that if my parents had written the Torah, they would have reversed these two words to read nishma v'na'aseh. We will hear and then we will do. Because they taught me from a young age that it is essential to listen, to hear instructions first, and then go off and do and follow them. Because after all, how are we supposed to follow instructions before even knowing what they are? Sure, these laws that I mentioned before, they may seem obvious, they may be self-evident, and yet it is sometimes hard to instinctively love someone for whom you don't have the opportunity to listen to. If we don't open ourselves up to hear the stories of other people, their experiences, their heartfelt truths, then it's impossible to understand them. Our work and our commitment to social justice means that it is imperative for us to listen to others, to be an ally, and to be a partner in the work. So then how shall we read this text? Na'aseh v'nishma, or nishma v'na'aseh? Which is more important, to act and then to hear, or to hear and then to act? Let's take a look at what our sacred texts have to say. So first, the Talmud states, at the moment when the Jewish people first said, we will do, and then we will hear, a heavenly voice went out and said to them, who revealed the secret of the angels to the Israelites? As it is written in Psalms, praise God's angels who do God's will and understand God's words. Just as the angels know first to obey and then to understand God's word, the Jewish people have somehow intuited the divine secret, and they therefore have proven themselves worthy for meriting Torah, and alongside the angels. And so accordingly in the Talmud, the angels respond to the people's words by crowning each member of the Jewish people with two crowns, one for na'aseh, for doing, and one for nishma, for listening. Another story from the Talmud. Rabbi Tarfon, a prominent rabbi during the time of the temple's destruction, was sitting with the elders of the Jewish court in a town called Lod in Israel. And a question was asked of them: which is greater, study or action? And Rabbi Tarfon answered and said, action is better. Another rabbi, Rabbi Akiva, answered and said, study is greater. And the community of elders debated this for a while longer, and they determined that study is greater because it leads to action. So what's clear from these stories is this: doing is not more or less important than listening, and listening is not more or less important than doing. They are both needed because one leads to the other. This Shabbat, all across the country, synagogues are celebrating Repro Shabbat. The National Council for Jewish Women launched this initiative 3 years ago to highlight Judaism's support for reproductive freedom and to come together as a community to talk about bodily autonomy and reproductive health care. The recent Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade restricts abortion access for millions of people. And so it's more important now than ever for us as Jews who support abortion access to come together to honor our traditional wisdom and pave the way for the Jewish fight for reproductive freedom. Now, you might be asking, why this week of all weeks? Parshat Mishpatim is actually the first time in our Torah that we see a situation that acknowledges a case in which reproductive justice is needed. And so in Exodus 21, verses 22 to 23, we read, when two or more people fight and one pushes a pregnant woman and a miscarriage results, but no other damages occur, the one responsible shall be fined according to the woman's husband as determined by the courts. But if further damage occurs, meaning anything life-threatening to the woman, the penalty shall be life for life. So this biblical text actually grounds the Jewish discussion of abortion, as it explicitly distinguishes an essential difference between a pregnant person, a nephesh, a living soul, versus the fetus, a non-nephesh. Using this biblical verse as the foundation text for reproductive rights, rabbinic texts go on to describe a variety of scenarios that would necessitate saving a pregnant person's life at the expense of the fetus up until the point of delivery. Now, while there is plenty of disagreement between medieval and modern commentators about the status of a fetus that would permit terminating a pregnancy, the overarching understanding is that terminating a pregnancy for the mother's safety is a Jewish value. And so this Shabbat, I'd like to affirm that reproductive justice is a human issue for all people of all genders. It is a human right, and it is fixed in Jewish law. We must support the rights of individuals to access reproductive health care, and we must do this because it personally affects each and every one of us, or the people that we love. So when I think about how reproductive justice relates to me, I think about my partner who travels out of state for work, often to places where it is illegal or it is difficult to receive reproductive care if she might need it. I think of my LGBTQ plus friends for whom the choice to have a child is met with critical testing in order to determine how to best bring a child into this world. I think of family members who were unable to conceive naturally and needed access to reproductive care to best determine how they were going to start a family. And I think of my friend who has had to have 3 abortion procedures done in the last 2 years, and without access to these procedures, she would not be here today. From our ancient teachers and from those who I love deeply, I have learned that study and action, doing and listening, they go hand in hand. And while I will never have to make the decision for myself to receive an abortion, I want to be certain that those I love have the choice, perhaps the most difficult and painful choice they will make in their lives, to receive this kind of care. And so in order to ensure the rights of all to form families of their choosing, when it comes to reproductive justice, it is essential to both listen and to act. And we do this by telling our stories and experiences with reproductive health and by compassionately listening to stories from others. We do this by donating money to national and local campaigns or places in our country and in the world where these rights are not easily accessible. And of course, we do this by educating ourselves about abortion, about what it really is, and how one might advocate for greater protection. When Moses read the covenant into the ears of the people, we responded and continue to respond by saying we will do and we will hear. It is necessary now more than ever to do both. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Ryan, I want to thank you for being an ally. And I'm sorry I didn't say this before you spoke, but the Congregants for Reproductive Justice actually asked to hear male perspective this Shabbat. And I think it's important to hear the male perspective or differing perspectives. And so I want to say thank you. This song was originally written about Mother Earth, but I saw a different take on it for tonight. She brought us to the world, so we better stand for her together. She brought us to this world, so we better stand for her together. Stand up for our mothers, stand up for each other. Stand up for our mothers, stand up for each other. We were brought into this paradise. It's our job to guard her life. She brought us to this paradise. It's our job to guard her life. Stand up for our mothers. Stand up for each other. Stand up for our mothers. Stand up for each other. Oh, oh. Stand up for each other. Stand up for our mothers. Stand up for each other.
It's appropriate that we ask you to stand up, to rise, whether it is in body, spirit, or posture, as we join together at the Ark for Aleinu, page 586.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kagoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
We think of our loved ones now who are no longer with us, whether we are remembering them this week because it is their yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing, or because we have lost them most recently. If you have someone that you are remembering, we invite you to rise. Please share their name and also their relationship to you. We also want to make sure to read the names that we have been asked to share this evening. Cheryl Benovitz, Blossom Cohen, Pearl Cohen, Bertha Lampert, Aaron Levitt, Mildred Metzke-Lipton, Lester Sultan, Patricia Sapphire, and Joey Schwartz Schoen. May their memories be for a blessing. Let's rise together as a community in support of those who are remembering this evening as we turn to page 598 to recite the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayachon v'yomechon v'chaye decho Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mivarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithale v'yithalal shemei dekudesha
Brichu.
le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shalom rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen.
Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Just a few brief announcements. I think there's still room to sign up for the Prime Timers experience tomorrow night. We're thankful to Susan for gathering our friends tomorrow night for a lot of fun. You can see some other further announcements that have also been shared with you online.
I also just want to say quickly that if you're interested in learning more about reproductive justice, Abby Posner is here. I'm going to just call you out, who's one of our co-chairs of the committee. And on March 3rd, there's going to be a follow-up to our October 21st program with incredible speakers and more information about how we can support those in need of support of reproductive justice rights, reproductive rights. I also wanted to let you know that on Sunday morning, between 8:30 and 9 a.m. on 88.9 WERS, you will be hearing our very own Tefillah band singing on the radio, Be Holy, Hear the Whisper, with an introduction by yours truly. So I hope that you will tune in to Chagiga, the radio show, on Sunday morning between 8:30 and 9 a.m.
Amazing.
There's plenty happening here, certainly never a dull moment. But let's begin to conclude, or continue to conclude, with Adon Olam. We'll just do the first two verses on page 625 or up on the screen, and then we'll lead into Kiddush. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'yet naso v'chefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra v'yacharei yichlot hakol levado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu hoveh v'hu yiyeh b'tifara. I'm not going to do it before.
All right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzav banu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים.
Let's see, where are we?
כי בנו
Second line.
בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. Lift
I'll
it up,
raise it
Rabbi.
nice and high.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabat l'chaim. And let's quickly uncover the challah. Oh, it's beautiful. Let's join together. Baruch
honors.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
Will you do the honors? Shabbat Shalom. Come on up and take a piece of
Shabbat
challah if you
Shalom.
want. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalalai. Yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalalai, yalai, loi. Good Shabbos!
It's supposed to be in rock stars we're going to get, probably. Although you're going to be in Symphony Hall. So. That's closer. Sounded great, Elon. Thanks. Of course, I signed up my pager and they didn't do it.